All right, welcome everybody back to the Two Dads Review podcast. We're here reviewing episode 2 of season 7 of Game of Thrones. Thank you everybody who's back after listening to the episode 1, our first our first full episode review, which turned out pretty good. Um, I'm Clay. I'm one of the two dads. My other the other dad on the line is
Hey, I'm Corey. What's up, guys? Wait, it's episode two?
we're on episode. We only had 2 episodes, man. Only had two
No,
episodes.
man, no. I was just saying, episode two is it's like such a cinematic adventure. But yeah, it's. I realized it as I was saying it because there's so much ingest in episode two that was just kind of like, what? No, hold on, wait, that happened, and I was like, man, we got to have been on episode three. There's already a whole bunch of events going on all around the world. I can't keep
Well,
up.
you begged last week for your WoW episode, and you thought that one may have been okay. We were just so dead to it, and so you got a pretty wild episode this time. Did it do what you wanted it to do for you?
Yeah. It slapped me with "This is Game of Thrones, fool. Don't ever disrespect me again."
Lowered that boom, lowered that
Yeah,
boom on you. Here you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
All right, quick. Let's see. Quick spoiler free. Uh, um, look at it. It was definitely a a good episode. It was definitely gave you a lot more. Gave you a big battle at the end. That was good to see. Um, there's not much spoiler free you can do with Game of Thrones. There really isn't. I'm probably going to skip that out next time. We're just going to go right into it. So if you haven't watched episode 2, just watch it now because there's no spoiler free stuff. We're going to head straight into it. So yeah, there's no way there's no way to
Yeah.
even walk around
Why
anything
bother?
that's
Because then you
going on in
can't
this
talk
show.
about it.
Exactly. All right. So we start scene one. We start at Dragonstone. It's raining like friggin' crazy. Um, Danny's there with Grey Worm and Tyrion and Varys is there, and they have a they have an interesting little back and forth. A little bit of her. I don't know. She was almost getting in Varys' face. Well, she did get in his face, and she was like, "Look, I know that for the longest time back in the earlier seasons, you plotted to have me killed as a younger younger child, and he didn't. At least he didn't back down. So I have to give him that much. But she pretty much told him, if you're gonna, I'd just rather you stab me in the chest than stab me in the back. If you're gonna talk shit about me, just do it to my face.
Yeah, but I think that was I don't know if that was so much of more of like this like shit talking as everybody thinks it was. I think as soon as she like heard his answer, she realized that like he's a man of the people, and that's what you want. Like that's so yeah. If you have to go back and look at all the previous kings, then yeah, then I guess you got to stab that one in the back to get to the next one that may be slightly better or whatever's going to happen in this chain of events. But if you're still trying to do what's best for the people, which I mean, he was trying to get Joffrey killed from the get go, so he was he was
He's
he
good in
was
our
always
book.
been trying to do what's best for the people.
Right. I do give him credit for not. He didn't back down. He didn't try to skate around what he had done in the past. But he told her, "I'm here for the people, and I will serve you until you don't serve the people." And it's good. It could be good for her to have somebody like that on her. She doesn't need a room full of yes men or women. So that was okay. I thought there was a little bit of a at the very end when they said that she needed to meet up with Jon Snow. She's like, yeah, send for him to come down here, and he can bend the knee. And I was like, oh, that's not gonna go. That's not gonna go real well. He's not gonna take that very well, but he'll show up. But I don't know how much bending's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna go way better than everybody thinks too. Like I think he's gonna be like, "Dang, she's hot," and she's gonna be like, "Dang, he's hot." This is like the prom king and queen meeting each other, man. Like they're pretty much going. He's all gonna go. I never had a mother, but I'm from the north and I'm for the people. And she's gonna be like, oh well, cool. I'm basically Californian, and I like the people down here, so how about you Canadians and us California girls get together, and it's gonna happen. The only thing is all these boats just got in the way of the big plan.
Yeah, right. All I've had is gingers, so now it's time. Maybe some blondes. I can see blonde maybe. Yeah, that was definitely that'll be a fun scene to see because I don't think no they've never been on screen together. They've never met anywhere in any of the stories, so it'll be one of those first this season because I'm sure he'll arrive. Let's see, he's coming from the north. Uh, he'll probably arrive this episode or the next, I would think. So and then they get a message and they're and all of a
Yeah, he'll
sudden,
definitely arrive next episode. I mean, look at the King from the Iron Isles, man. That guy like showed up right on cue in a matter of moments in a sentence.
pretty much, and more than one time so far. Once per
Yeah,
episode apparently. So I mentioned
yeah,
that
dude,
shit last week.
that guy's man internal clock is on
Timing
point.
timing is impeccable. Yeah, that guy is right
Yeah,
there when it comes. And let's see. So then the Red Witch shows up, and they have some translation issues. Thank goodness they turned to Masande to translate exactly what the prophecy said. Um, but that was speaking of people making it places really quickly. So I mean, all that now the Red Witch has made it straight to Dragonstone, so she's down there now. That'll be an interesting little, uh, especially when Danny learns of because I think because did Tyrion see any of this? No, no one's seen any of this stuff she's done. So it will be interesting, especially when Jon Snow shows up, because you got to think he just kicked her out, and it'll be one of those she can't be here, not while I'm here type thing.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, yeah. John could get all pouty, mad, and go, "I won't work with the witch," or whatever the hell he says.
You're a
Yeah,
great Jon Snow,
yeah. It's disrespect to everything he's ever done in his life.
right? Okay, so next we end up in Winterfell. Uh, they're getting ravens from two different directions. So they get one. So John, or they get the raven from King's Landing. Is that one of the ravens? Saying they need to go that way, and then they get the raven from uh, Dragonstones. From Tyrion, stating need to come meet up with Danny
Well,
and
yeah, the
use
King's
it as
Landing was either join or die, basically.
right.
Yeah,
And then the one from King's Landing had Tyrion's quote from the first season, where all dwarves are bastards in their father's eyes, which was what he had said to Jon back when they met outside the stables at Winterfell, like season one, like episode one. So that was kind
yeah,
of a
yeah.
cool throwback to everybody who's watched for as long as we have. I mean, it was, yeah, it's good to see that Jon is still standing firm with he's not wavering. No one else has seen what he's seen when it comes to the White Walkers, and no one down there has seen it, and so he sees all that stuff south of him as squabbles and pointless bullshit when it comes to what is really coming their way. And I don't know if he's going to be able to convince enough people diplomatically to fight like they should. I think he's going to end up at Dragonstone, and if he doesn't convince her, he's going to have to take that dragon glass by force. That's going to be, it would have been harder, except now all their boats are gone. all the boats by the end of the episode that pretty much their entire navy, Danny's entire navy's gone now, which kind of blows a hole in their whole plan. But we'll get to that. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much.
Yeah, but what is what
Uh,
is what is Daenerys need the dragon glass for?
Everybody needs a dragon. She doesn't need it right. She doesn't think she needs it now, but everybody in the entire Westeros needs the dragon glass. They need to
That's
start a
what I'm
dragon glass
saying, though.
plant. Right.
Well, that's
Well,
what I'm saying. Like, but she doesn't know any of that. Like, so all John's really going in is asking for is a mining resource for what he's seen coming from the north. Basically, going, hey, you got fire. I need the dragon glass. You got ships going up. Your plan's here. Once this side's safe, you'll obviously have King's Landing. The kingdoms will unite, and we have seven kingdoms again. Like I don't
Well, six.
like
There's no phrase.
like I don't think. Well, yeah, touche. um, yeah, like
Right.
I can't,
The best case scenario.
I can't see any of the negotiations going bad. Like the only thing I can see going bad is like the executions of the plan so far. Like I think the negotiations of what everybody wants are just gonna like align, and like that whole group is gonna get that feel good moment, and
Hmm.
everyone that's watching the show is going to kind of be like, "Yeah, Team Alpha's about to go kick some ass," and then all of a sudden we're going to get introduced to something, and you're going to be like, "What in the?" And then you have this whole other thing going on. You were just going, "Man, I thought it was all about some White Walkers and like this crazy queen." Like
Right.
where did this thing come from?
If there's anything we know from watching this show for 7 seasons, is as soon as you start to feel good, just a little bit, the producers and the writers and the directors are just gonna just rip your friggin' heart out. Just just right then and there, you're like, oh, this is almost gonna feel. Oh God,
Yeah, dude,
and I'm
like,
gonna die.
because I'm telling you, man, like, Jon Snow's gonna go down there, and you're gonna have this like A-team meetup, and everyone's gonna get along great, and you know who's back up north all by herself is Sansa, and just shit follows that girl everywhere, man. Like, Littlefinger's about to do something really, really dumb, and then the whole north is about to get all what, and then Daenerys and them are gonna go. We got no boats, and that's how you're getting your whole shit show of a Game of Thrones season right there. I think.
Agreed. That's definitely yeah, because yeah, it's gonna really suck if John's not up north when the White Walkers come and she's stuck there with Littlefinger trying to direct an army to of what's left up there to fight. It's gonna be a shit show. You're absolutely right.
And then I think
So
that would also probably be the initiative for everyone to go. We need Dragon Glass. Like that's more important now. There is no North.
right, there's no exactly. It's just us versus them, and we need those dragons sitting on some hill blowing fire on something to make dragon glass. However that works. If it's just
Yeah.
fire, if it's just fire and sand that makes glass, then that we're good. But they need to start making even more, and we need to get a mining thing going and a weapons product factory, and we need your dragon glass in the on the ground plan from last week that will make the whole battle pointless because they're just all going to die. That'll be great. We need all that. We need all that. Okay, so let's see. Let's move on. Let's move on from the north. Let's go back to King's Landing for just a quick second. We get to see good old Samwell's dad, Mr. Tarley again. Um, he's he's getting lectured by Cersei, and they're all getting lectured by Cersei pretty much. And it was I don't know. Give me a synopsis of what she was talking about because I kind of drained out because when she gets talking, I'm just kind of
Oh man,
okay.
she was all the heathens of the north are coming to rape your women and children and coming to steal your lands and your homes, and we all know what happens. They let the wildlings through. Just pure like savage white man versus Native American propaganda. Like they were just dumber than dirt, and we're just coming down here to kill everything. And you know, that's all that
Right,
that's all
exactly.
it was. And I think that's why all the people in the houses were just kind of like, yeah, we might just kind of wait this out because you don't seem to have a whole lot going for you either. And really, everything you're saying, I haven't heard any of these stories from this.
Yeah, right. I will bring that. That does come back later. I want to bring something up in a little bit for later on. I'll remember to bring that up. But something we do see, we get to meet. I know for the first time, Samwell's brother. And stories. He's the younger brother, but his father passed over Sam because he was weak and wanted this one to take over. Which, from his 4 foot wide back muscles, you can see why he was the favored one of the two brothers. And for anybody who watches Black Sails, you know that's Billy Bones from the fantastic Stars show Black Sails that just finished. So this guy has plenty of time to be Dickon Tarley. What a horrible. Oh man. I mean, I realize everybody in the Game of Thrones is named pretty much the same name, but give me a break. That poor guy got the shaft, no pun intended, from that naming. So they're definitely, they don't want to openly go against Cersei. They know they're just saying they're like just yes manning her. Yes, we'll do whatever you say, but none of them are behind her. None of them. She's hanging on by a thread, really. I mean, all she has is the throne right now. There's nothing behind her.
No, but Jamie was there making side deals, promising his son
Right.
the crown. Because
True, but
two great houses, and then you also have uh, the old brother from the Iron Islands giving her some mysterious gift as well to win her affection. So you got like jealous brother over here making side bets with his inbreeding sister that he loves so much, and trying to sell her off to someone else. I don't know why, but I don't understand.
yeah, right. It literally makes no sense, but we watch it anyways. That's right. And
Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
someone still had. I think uh, Sam's dad got in some sort of Kingslayer side remark. I don't think Jamie's had an episode this season so far that someone hasn't made some sort of side comment to himself or his actions, which I just think is hilarious. But he still keeps moving forward, man.
yeah,
So
dude. Jamie's a resilient guy for being a piece of shit. He's very resilient, man.
right. So we move from King's Landing um, to, let's see, Old Town, I believe, when they're working on Samwell and the Maester he's working under. They're doing an examination of old Jorah Mormont, which we knew from last week, even though they didn't show it to us last week. We knew it was him. Uh, and the old guy pretty much tells him, "Nope, sorry." Even though Stannis' daughter was cured, they caught it way earlier, like from the day she was born. They figured out that she had it, and they were able to slow it down. You could live for 20 years, but your mind's going to go in about 6 months. So, have fun. He's like, if you were a poor person, I'd kick you out right now. But since you're a knight, I'll give you a day. And he like looks at his sword, like, just take care of it yourself if you don't mind. So that's
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, there was a difference between an adult and a child, and
yeah.
all that stuff too. So
And Sam tries to get in a few words in edgewise because he said he read where one maester had performed it on a knight. It was older and it was more advanced. And then his teacher's like, you know how that guy died? Grayscale.
yeah,
So it's like
yeah,
you have an answer for everything, don't you? You sad bastard.
he does.
Okay.
He does, though, man. That's the thing about him is like, why? Why does he have an answer for everything? Like, and it's always steering Sam away from important Sam stuff. you know?
Right. I wonder if there is something deeper and darker that you're shooting for each time we talk about this guy, or if he just is literally the I don't give a fuckest of them all. Like he's like I don't care. Like
Nah,
I'm
dude. I
old.
think that guy's sitting on a mountain of knowledge, and he's twisted. Like I think he's like super super twisted. And he's
Well, to be
yeah,
yeah.
and it's
I
gonna be over something petty too. Like he's writing his great book, and no one's gonna read it, and he's gonna unleash some kind of ungodly White Walkerish rock people holocaust. Like I just dude like whatever that dude did to the mountain.
right.
Okay, to turn him into some zombie robot killer. You know, but that other guy steering Sam away from crap, man. He's doing stuff like that on the backside with all those body parts and everything, man. Like he's trying to be making Frankenstein's monster.
Maybe, maybe. So speaking of the guy that made the mountain into the zombie he is today, he takes Cersei for a walk down in the dungeons area, the basement, sub basement maybe of King's Landing under the castle, where they have all of the dragon skulls that used to line the throne room when the Targaryens had the throne, and he shows her a giant crossbow that can pierce dragon bones, which I mean that's pretty awesome. If he's got, you know, he seems to think that he makes enough of those they could take down the three dragons. So
Yeah, but
that
he
you
made
got
it. He's making the arrows out of Valyrian steel.
is that what he said?
Yeah,
Did I miss
yeah,
that?
yeah. Because remember, I could have swore he was saying when he was talking about how one of them was wounded with a Valyrian sword or something like that, and he was like talking about how if they could be wounded, they can be killed. So he made that giant crossbow, and I'm pretty sure that was like a Valyrian steel arrow.
Possibly, but there's not a lot of Valyrian steel, so if that is the case,
Well,
there's not
that's
a lot
why
of
I'm
that
thinking it
floating
would be
around.
such like a rare thing that like you would have to time it just right because it'll drop the dragon. I think that's why it was like a headshot through the eye or whatever, right at the top of the skull, kind of symbolizing that hey, this is the cannon of guns,
See, I thought it was just a big ass crossbow with a big ass arrow in it. I didn't. I'll have to go back and watch it again to see if he mentions it. But I know he mentioned yes that the dragon got hurt by a spear of some sort when the dragon was rescuing Danny. Um, so it's possible. I'll have to go back and look. You have to let us know. Somebody tweet at us. Let us know if we're right or wrong with what the arrows are going to have to be made out of. So yeah, that was a cool little scene though.
Because that would
Moving on.
also,
Go ahead.
actually, I just had a crazy idea. Like, because that would also, we know Valyrian steels can knock out the White Walkers. So, what if the North is lost, like I was talking earlier, and then King's Landing also sees the White Walker parade, and now you got a Valyrian steel going on, and uh, the other stuff, Dragon.
Dragonglass.
Come on, there we go, Dragon Glass. See, I'm all going conspiracy theory tonight, man. Yeah, I can't stop. The episode
It's all
had so
right.
much in it.
We all literally know nothing. It's fine. Okay, so back to next scene after the dungeon. Back to Dragonstone, and we have a council of well, I mean they're mostly all women minus Tyrion, who's there giving some advice, but I'm pretty sure he's just going over the plan that him and Danny had come up with. I did watch the after episode, um, behind the scenes stuff with the producers. They were making it a point that just they didn't plan on it happening this way, but they wrote it when it got writing. It was kind of cool to see a war council of women, like all you had Elena Tyrell, you had Danny, you had the Sand Snake's mom, and I cannot think of her name right now. Somebody is yelling at their car or at their headphones right now. What her name is, I can't think of it. So it was pretty cool. They were talking to their whole grandiose plan of how they're going to do everything, which we know by the end of the episode, half of that plan is gone to shit. So that's it was a nice scene, but once you finish the episode, you're like, well, half of that was pointless.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't need that 15 minutes.
And then after most of them leave, old lady Tyrell pulls her aside and says, "You know how I live to be where I am and as old as I am today? Like I take the advice of men and I don't listen to it. Like she said, you're a dragon, be a dragon. I'd love to know. I can't wait to see what she thinks that advice means. What Danny thinks that advice means. Especially since their whole giant plan is going to be toast after this episode. Um, she may just she may not mind ruling over Ash, which is what her whole point was. I don't want to rule over Ash. I want to leave Westeros as intact as I possibly can, so the people don't hate me as well as all the houses that I've destroyed on my way there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after the end of the episode, what goes on there. So, and then
Yeah,
I
just think that was a bitter old woman trying to get her vengeance. Because basically she was giving her the exact advice that every man supposedly gave her that she ignored her whole life. Like, it's it's cool now, like to just go kill everybody. Like,
right,
it's cool. Never mind. Now's the time you need to go kill everybody there.
She just said be a dragon. Now I don't know what that means, but it could mean a whole bunch of stuff that her crazy grandfather did. So there's no telling. And then we transition to our first sex scene of the season, because last week's nudity was just autopsy penis, which is not what anybody wants to see. So you had Grey Worm. Grey Worm was heading north, I believe. Was he heading north? And Missandei stopping by to say goodbye, or at least hopefully see you later. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Not really, but it was a nice sweet scene.
No, I mean, no, it was definitely like you could tell they were in love, man. But I just the dude. I don't know, man. You just feel bad for him.
Well, I mean, to avoid expliciting this podcast, there's other ways to do things.
No,
People love. So you figured it out by the end.
Oh yeah, no, I know, man. You just felt bad for the guy. That's all I'm saying. The dude's genuinely in love, and this dude happened to get mutilated earlier in his life. It was a real a person with a disability falling in love.
Right.
Losing an arm or something like that. Kind of that's what I meant. It was uncomfortable in that sense, and you don't really think about those things day to day, or at least that's what it did to me. I didn't take it as a what the hell's going on. I was like, man, that's deep.
Hey, but he still got game, because he had his "You're my weakness" speech to her. I was like, way to go, man. Way to swoon him.
Yeah, that guy was standing outside the window right there with the boombox up in the air, man, just letting it all hang out. He was ready to go.
Nice 80s reference too. Make sure everybody knows. Good. Everybody, that's okay. Everybody listen to this podcast. Listen to us because they're tired of going to YouTube for a bunch of millennials reviewing this stuff. They don't have any experience. They don't know what they're talking about.
No, they all just make more money than us.
Well, hey, this podcast comes to everybody ad free, not by choice, just because no one's going to put ads on our podcast. So that's fine. Oh man! All right, so next scene, we are back in Old Town, and this is actually where Sam talks about, I believe, more about what the other Meister had done and the book he had read, and he was trying to convince his teacher once again, which of course, as before, didn't work whatsoever. So he goes to Jorah's room in the middle of the night to perform ad hoc surgery on him, and Jorah's like, have you done this before? And he said, no, but no one else is going to do it, so I'm the only shot. And, oh yeah, bite down on this. And that was boy.
Dude, okay, boy. Right there, man. Jorah, if Ian Glenn doesn't win an award for that pain sequence of him biting that belt and screaming, because I was in his pain. I was like, oh my God, that guy is putting on an act of a life right there. I was like, I'm genuinely feeling like he is getting sliced up right now in the worst possible way, and he's got to pass out. Just pass out, man. You have to give up.
Just go, man. Just go.
Just let it go. Give up. It'll be over.
Right. And then we have the surgery scene, and I don't know what it is with the writing / cinematography, but they want to make me vomit every episode so far. So we had the shit pans last week, and all the retching, and then they switched straight.
Oh, and you didn't like the bodily fluids of the flesh coming off,
well, then they switched straight to the dude eating a chicken
Oh,
pot
dude, the
pie at
chicken
the
pot
thing,
pie
and I was like,
transition was perfect. That was
it was
great.
beautiful. I was like,
I
and
laughed so hard at that.
I was like, and we're there. I can't look at that ever. I can't look at that the same again. But we did get to see Hot Pie again. Her buddy from way back when. I think maybe season 1 or end of season 2, because she was on the run and they were headed north.
Yeah.
That was cool bringing him back, and him pretty much just pulled a George R. R. Martin and described his food for 5 minutes, and I was like, that's cool. Like, I understand. Tell me how you made that bread delicious. And she's just but what I took down in my notes about this scene that was very important is that where they're at, if I remember on the map from the book, it's pretty much you're halfway between King's Landing and Winterfell, where they landed at. I could be wrong, but I think it's about right. So you had those two guys at the table next to them talking about Dany already landing at Dragonstone. So word of her arrival has passed through Westeros really, really quickly, which is very cool. Like, it's cool that people are already. So she's been back and forth on whether or not, she said it last week about whether or not, you guys tell me people, say a prayer in my name every night or whatever. People all around the Seven Kingdoms are secretly supporting me. But she's like, I don't have any proof of that. I don't know that. Well, now we see that at least the word of her and her existence has made it that far into inland and through Westeros. So hopefully, that's cool to see that the word has already passed. That's all I'm going for there, really. It was interesting for them to drop that in there about how fast the word spreads of her arrival.
Well, yeah, they also do like a good sense of like making days, weeks, months move in a show. Like you don't really realize, like, because of the other stories that are happening around, you know, boats and ships and people can move across the plane because nothing's going on with them. We're over here, watching the hand get
True.
dazzled at us,
They
and
do.
they're all pulling sleight of hand behind our back on the timeline.
Right, and that's the best part. We talked about this last week. They don't tell you how much time has passed. So, but
Yeah,
however much time has passed, word is starting to make it across Westeros. So that's good.
yeah,
And then at the very end,
they're the inside of a casino on time, just pumping oxygen and no daylight.
right. And then you have at the very end of that scene, you have Arya heading out, and she starts to head towards King's Landing for her goal. And then after hearing that her brother and sister at Winterfell from Hot Pie, she heads north, which is cool. It's very cool. I mean, maybe meeting up with those Lannisters last week and seeing that not everybody in the whole situation are bad people, and that she doesn't have this giant. She could take care of her business later. She wants to go see her family she hasn't seen in a long time. So that's really cool that she's heading north, and of course she's gonna miss Jon, who they were the closest back at the beginning. They were always the closest. So she'll be there with Sansa, which WoW family wouldn't be the coolest of the two of the two for her to see when she shows up. So that'll be fun when she gets back to Winterfell. So
Yeah, that'll be sweet.
that will be cool. A little tearjerker more than likely.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see. Next, after she heads north, we're back at Winterfell, and Jon has the whole council, everybody in the main room again, and he's saying he's gonna head south, and Sansa once again speaks up, which is, I'll give her, what, I don't even mind it anymore, because last week when she said you're starting to sound a lot like Dad, and you saw what happened to him, he needs her in his ear, and they need to rule, together when it comes to Winterfell, because she's not stupid. She knows what she's talking about.
Oh yeah,
And
no, she's good. It's just like
it's like they don't have conversations before they go. Like, you literally came from somewhere to that room full of people. Could you not have had a conversation?
Yeah,
about what
yeah,
you're
like
talk about?
yeah,
And
it's
then
not
get that shit out first.
yeah, it's not that she is like, not that a woman shouldn't speak. It's you're just doing the wrong type of conversation in the wrong type of place. Like every time. Just you could have waited 5 minutes to say what you just said instead of that being public information. No one needed to know that.
Right. Exactly. So you have a stand up before you go to that meeting. You also need to have a little powwow before, drink an ale and like talk about what you're going to say to everybody, so you're not having to say it in front of me, say it in front of everybody else, because it does demean his leadership and his power. But all in all, he still didn't break to her. He knows he needs to go south. He knows he needs the dragon glass, and he is a very one track. This is I'm doing this, and it's worked so far. I mean, minus dying, it's worked so far for him. So, she said last time a Stark went south to a Targaryen, they were burned alive, and he's like, I gotta take that chance. And he's like, and I also leave Winterfell to you. And she's like, well, no shit.
Well, I don't think she
So
was.
that's
No,
cool.
I mean, I
No,
don't think she was like, no shit. And she was more like, what? Really? Oh
she
my
was surprised.
God. I've got everything
Yeah,
I've wanted. And then Littlefinger was like,
yeah,
yo,
girl.
I've loved everybody in your family. Literally everybody. Like, yeah,
Like
man.
I have
Littlefinger's gone from like weird, weird proprietor of females to like
like
just
creepy uncle.
creepy uncle. Yep.
Exactly. Like, okay, man. Like I know you like my mom. That's weird. Like, quit talking to me. So, all right. So then we have the confrontation. And I'm doing air quotes. Confrontation between Jon and Littlefinger, because I mean, just poking the bear, dude. Down there, standing in front of his dad's, actually his uncle, I guess, because we know he's not his dad. Down in front of Ned Stark's grave, and just poking at Jon, just let him have it. I don't know. Tell me about that scene.
Well, as Littlefinger comes down there, and John's down there with the family bones, and he's all looking at what's happened to everybody, and then of course Littlefinger and his whispering winds of a voice comes in. Like, and I don't understand how he does this every time. He always has like some magical little sentence of a story to tell. He was like, I gave your bones to your father, and then he came and flown down from the heavens, and we high fived each other while you were born on a north wintry night. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Like, where did you get this information from? And then, anywho, he basically goes, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm your creepy uncle, and your sister upstairs. I would really like the bed, and I'm just basically letting you know while you're away. The wolf
I'm trying
may or
to.
may not get in the hen house. Like, he's like, just letting you know this is I might pounce. This might happen. And now, of course, John's got to have all like, what about my sister while he's down there in Dragonfell? Not well, yeah, trying to woo somebody else into some dragon glass.
Right. Yeah, we don't need him distracted right now. That's for sure. Yeah. So that was definitely it was a typical. Anytime Littlefinger gets in a room with another man, he pretty much just pisses him off the entire time. So that was fairly expected when that happened. We know he's going to. He tries to get people just off their guard, or have their guard. I don't know what's the best way of putting it, but he unsettles everybody he's around, and that's the way he controls people. So
Well, yeah, it's
yeah,
because everybody knows he's shifting. He uses it to his advantage to keep them all pondering. But he's just a
just
creepy perv, man, trying to get some power. That's all he is at the end of the day. It's no different
just a
than,
used car salesman.
yeah, man. That's all he is. That's all he is. He's a, a shiny object, dude.
All right, moving on. We are in the woods. Arya has stopped for something, day, night. It looked like it was pretty light outside. She's by her fire, and then all of a sudden she's surrounded by a pack of wolves, and we're like, well, either sadly, as much as I love this show and much as I should be able to pick this stuff out, like Nymeria appearing should have been in the forefront of my mind, but it wasn't until I heard like the low growl, because I was like, are we gonna see her do some like badass, she's gonna still fight all these wolves off and win type thing? But no, it was Nymeria that we haven't seen since since that right after she bit um uh
Joffrey.
Joffrey after she bit Joffrey and she had to throw rocks at her to make her run away. And we haven't seen her since then. So it was kind of a cool thing. I really kind of wanted her to go with her, but I knew I was like, "There's no way that wolf is going with you. There's no way." But
No,
I don't think
that wolf.
her and her pack is going to be too far behind.
I was just
They
about
may
to
just
say that, man. They may not win all buddy buddy right there, but she's gonna keep a close eye on her, and that whole pack's gonna. And that pack, I bet you, man. Like that was just like it's gonna be one of those things where you realize how much actual time has passed, and then you probably are gonna see a couple more dire wolves that are almost full grown.
or at least half breeds, right?
Yeah, yeah, half breeds,
Right.
and
Yeah, and actually,
you're gonna see a little wolf brigade.
exactly. Is Jon Snow's wolf still alive and just hanging out somewhere? She get
No,
killed,
no,
or she died, right?
yeah, they put her down in the stables, I think, didn't they? I don't
I
remember.
don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember if she died when he was or if they just had her locked up when they killed him. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's the biggest one we've seen so far. Because Jon Snow's was always the runt anyways, so that was the biggest direwolf we've seen. Because all the other ones have been killed before now. So
yeah,
she's that was pretty awesome, the size of that thing.
but I
Good.
think that's like a thing to Arya there too, though. Is she's an alpha, you know? Like
Hmm.
you were the little girl, like the little kid, and like watch the way she eats. She ate like a veteran soldier, man. You know, like get it in,
It's
get
like
it
you know,
down.
right?
Let's
Get it.
get it in, get it down. Let's keep moving. We got shit to do.
Right, exactly. So cool little, nice, relaxing scene before things all go to shit. So we're on the ocean. Um, the Greyjoys are headed back to Dorne to get their entire army to then bring back to King's Landing to sack King's Landing. I believe was what Tyrion's plan was. So I probably should look her name up because I've been referencing her the entire time and can't think of it. But you know, the Sandstake's mother, Oberyn's wife or girlfriend or longtime partner, whatever. She was down there with Yara and Theon, and she's making the moves on Yara because Yara, you know, swings both ways depending on the port. And then and then there's a crash. They all head out. Well, our Yara and Theon head out, and there it is. Euron's fleet has found them. Euron's boat, you know, this massive. I mean, they were saying that his boat is like 5 times the size of all the other boats. Like when you put him to, like, his boat is meant to be massive, and he smashes into their boat, drops that plank, and then
Dude,
it's just
tell me that plague entrance when that guy got smashed did not just put you into tears, and him just going like,
yeah, and
like I was like, I love this guy. I was like, I like him so much. He's gonna die soon. I was like, but he
yeah,
is
I know.
awesome.
We were talking about that earlier today before we were recording. You were talking about he's so likable as a bad guy. You're like, oh man,
Yep,
like I want to get behind you, but I know someone's gonna mess your world up.
yep.
But you know, not too much time. But hopefully he hangs around for a while. And what's really cool is, like every good leader, he was the first one off that boat onto the boat hacking at people, and that's good to see. You know, it's good to see. But it was a great fight scene. You lose 2 of the sand snakes at least. There's 3 or 4 total. Three.
There's three
There's
sisters.
three.
There's 3 sisters and mother.
Right. Okay, so you lose 2. One of them gets double impaled and then lifted over your head like Mike Myers style.
Oh yeah, man. When he was
That was
just
rough.
holding her up, just kind of shaking it there. I was like, what is he like trying to like get her loose change? I was like, good lord, man.
Right. And then the other one, the one with the whip, what happened to her? How'd she bite it? Did he choke her out with the whip? Did he get it around her neck? I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
seeing
because
it.
she whipped him and then like pulled him, like just pulled her in, and then I think he just
Just broke her neck.
yeah, something like that. It wasn't. wasn't spectacular.
Right. Then you had, I know there was at least one. I think there was one. He was pulling his cleaver out of some guy's head. That was pretty awesome. I was like, man, I love the fight scenes in Game of Thrones. You can't get enough of that. Somebody had his axe to the head, and then you had the last Sand Snake in the bottom in the bottom of the ship defending her mom. And I saw a knife shot right to the old man parts during that fight scene before she was taken. Because you said that they didn't kill them, so I'm gonna go with you. We were talking about this before we were recording, that you don't think that the mom and the last surviving one uh, were killed. And you're right. I couldn't tell who was hanging off the bow of the ship at the very end shot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
That was the two sisters that were already dead, and they were left there. Is like this is what we do, and the mom and the closest daughter were taken because the guy from the Iron Isles, when the mom was trying to get them killed right then and there, because they're either going to be raped or tortured and raped, but so them staying alive was just bad news for them in the long run. So she was trying to get him
Very
killed,
true.
and the guy from the Iron Isles just deadpan looked at her and shook his head no and smiled. So I think that that's going to be part of that prize for Cersei.
Like, here's all the things I've collected for you.
Yes, because remember, the mother of the snakes or whatever she's called, she killed the youngest Lannister daughter, poisoned her.
Oh, that's right. Yep, they need to. Yeah, Cersei. Yeah, he needs her alive, at least her for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Very true. Very true. So, and all in all, so episode 2 already a giant high budget battle scene. That's good to know. I think there's a few more of those in store before the season's out. And the best part about it being a 7-episode season is we don't know. There's no episode 9 to wait for to know that the big scene's coming in 9, the big battle. We could get them all over the place, and I thought it was cool. It was a battle they hadn't done on Game of Thrones before, nothing on sea before. That was very good.
Well, they had the dragon fire blowing up all the boats, and then the siege on the sand.
Yeah, that was There's a little bit of boat action there. We also at the very end we had just what we thought Theon had.
Okay, thank you. I was like, man, if you pass over Theon,
no, that's the very very end shot. I can't pass it over. So Euron gets Yara. He's got her with his
battle axe
battle axe to her throat, and he's like, do something. And Theon, you could see him the transition that he makes. You could see him switch from Theon right back to Reek again.
Yeah, dude.
It was
Ramsay Bolton messed him up, dude. Ramsay Bolton just like Ramsay ruined his character. Like in every chance that he has to like redeem himself, and I know that's probably supposed to be his character, he fails to do it, and somehow he will be given another chance to redeem himself, and we will all be sucked back in for his little helpless Reek self, and then he'll dick him over by not just dying, like just go out in the blaze of glory, dude. Like, what's the point of being around if you're just gonna run away all the time?
Right, save yourself. Yeah, it's and watching her one single tear roll down her eye when she realizes that there's nothing he's gonna do for her, and that she is in Euron has her, and there's no getting away from it. That was pretty awesome scene. Pretty good ending to a great episode, I thought.
Yeah, no, it was a really good way for them to like wind it up with that. I'm gonna build you up, and then I'm gonna knock you down a few pegs from what you thought was gonna happen with this glorious moment. Or just remember, everything that you think is gonna go on is probably wrong. You're just gonna be wrong, and you might as well just sit back and enjoy the show for what it is, because we will always write better content than you can imagine.
Yeah, very true. I that's why I quit trying to guess anymore. It's why things like Nymeria showing up just surprise me, because I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. I never even thought of that. I just turn my brain off and watch the show. Don't even let it all surprise you like you're 4. Like, let it be the greatest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic.
What a great show. Well, everybody that made it this point of the podcast, we want to thank you for tuning in to Two Dads Review. You can find us at Two Dads Review on Twitter and Facebook. We're on the podcasts are on SoundCloud, Buzzsprout, and Spreaker. SoundCloud mainly. That's what I tweet from. It's just easier just to do one. Corey, where can they find you online?
I'm pretty much just under SlothBear35 in everything there is, and if you can't find it, then I just don't use it. That's just all there is to it. You can find me under SlothBear35. I tried to claim it everywhere I possibly could.
Nice. Well, thank you everybody for listening in, and we'll catch you guys next week for episodes 3 review. Talk to you later.
All right, guys, take it easy.